What's up, guys? Tugi here, back again. This is episode 53 of my Quebec City Nordiques franchise mode here on NHL 17. We are halfway through Season 8. And I was thinking over the past few days when I wanted this series to end. Normally we do aim for the 10-year goal, but we've had so much success lately, I was thinking whether or not that would make it somewhat stale. As I watch my dog just freak out. She's been going crazy every time I've been trying to record lately. But yeah, I've been thinking, bottom line, I'll just cut right to the chase. This is absolutely going to Season 10 because we're in a very interesting spot right now to where this is probably our last year of true contention because of the contracts we have coming up. Now, of course, we started with Columbus, which in real life, Columbus has had a nice rebound this year, with Bobrovsky being healthy, getting into better shape, the arrival of Zach Werenski. But when we took control of them, they were in a bit of a rough spot. We turned them into the best team, almost the best team in NHL history. We've won 2 cups, 3 straight cup final appearances. But we're at the point now where we're going to have to rebuild after this season. This is our last year to make an impact before we have to shed some of the big names and hope that some of the prospects coming up can take over, which is a good thing because we do have some good prospects in the pipeline, and that'll only get better. So really, we'll have a full cycle with this team by the time this series ends. We needed to do a little bit of rebuilding, retooling. We did that. We won, and now we need to rebuild again. But just to show off my point here, Gerby is going to look for a very, very big contract. I should just sort this here. Tkachuk, his contract is up. So right there alone, as you can see, we only have, we'll have $26 million in cap space to try and make that work. I don't know. In my head, I'm thinking we won't have the cap space to make this work because Joonas Korpisalo's contract is also coming to an end. So I think this is the last season where we really need to aim to win the cup. And then after that, we start to rebuild and retool a little bit, is my point. Now, starting off this episode, there aren't really any free agents. That's the main thing I was looking at. The bottom 6 forward lines are going to stay the same. Defensively, though, I'd love to be able to sign Alex Pietrangelo. It's a shame he's a free agent in the prime of his career at a 90 overall. But Jack Dougherty, who we had a long time ago, made it up to an 83. He did about as well as Ralph Jarrett, and I want to sign him and bring him in. Unfortunately, this would be a bit of an issue, and is going to be a bit of an issue if he does sign with us, which I'm sure he will, because someone down in Cleveland is going to miss out on some valuable playing time. But, on the other hand, the better the Monsters do, just the better the Monsters do, the better. It's really the only thing you can say. So Jack Dougherty is actually back into the fold here, and we will keep him down in Cleveland. And that way, too, we have a right-handed defenseman for a little bit of depth, because our best defensemen are all left-handed, including Keaton Middleton. So this will make Cleveland a little bit more dangerous, and I will edit their lines off camera here or off screen. But the bottom 6 will stay the same, and of course, down in Cleveland, Peters, Lamoureux, Jesus, I'm going to pronounce that wrong the entire way. I'm sticking with Lamoureux or Lamoureux. I'll say both. Deal with it. But Tambellini, Kallio are there as well. So we have some guys that can step up if needed. But odds are it's going to be Trent Niedermayer that ends up missing out on some playing time here because we got to keep Ritu and Ruslan Zykov in. But that is the current situation with this team. In the meantime, as we finish up Season 8, we are, of course, in a very good spot. We are winning our division by 15 points with 32 games to go. Things are looking good for us. We will move forward to the, let's go to the 28th. It's a leap year. So we'll give us a little bit of time and space in case of a major injury and in case I decide to make a last-second trade. So let's see what we can do in the month of February and if this team can keep up the pace they have been on. All right, guys, I'm joining this as we are in progress here because we actually have a waiver claim, Michael Spacek from Winnipeg. 1 year left on his deal, still has some potential. Cleveland's doing well, so I'm actually going to claim him and try to get him into the lineup. Of course, as you can see here, right now we have a pretty decent record. I won't list it off until we end up finishing this game against the Florida Panthers. We've split duty as well between Korpisalo. I've been giving Korpisalo a bit of an easier month. I'm not going to, fuck it. If it happens, whatever. I don't want to risk injury with him. So we've had Ty Edmonds. I almost forgot his name. We've had Ty Edmonds play quite a bit. But 39, 14, and 9 at the end of February. And the Cleveland Monsters 31, 13, and 11. So the future is looking very bright for us. We still have a 15-point lead in the division over New Jersey and the Pittsburgh Penguins. And the Monsters are in first. They are in a goddamn dogfight with the Milwaukee Admirals, who they play next for that top spot. Although, I do wonder if picking up Spacek was the wrong idea, because that would mean, actually, I might not even start him. I might just leave these lineups the same, because like I said, we already have some guys that are having to sit, that have decent potentials, but we're going with the best overall team right now. Like, we could sit somebody like Walton, but he's low top 6. Daniel T-Ball is medium top 6. So really, that wouldn't just be, it really wouldn't be worth it, but he's there now in case of injury. And Jack Dougherty has yet to drop in overall, and he's doing very well in Cleveland thus far, so I am happy with that pickup. As far as the main team, I won't take a look at really any stats because we don't need to. The team is going to stay the same moving forward. And we'll take a look at stats at the end of the episode, of course. We only have 20 games to go, and in the interest of keeping this episode a little bit short, let's sim to the end of the season. I won't go to April 1st like I had done previously. I haven't done that the last 2 years. Let's just sim to the end of the season, and we will see where this team ends up. It's looking good for us. Again, we're not going to hit 60 wins this year, but we should win the division title. It's almost impossible for us to screw that up at this point. Now, we've actually gotten a trade offer here from the LA Kings. Our third-round pick next year, not even this third-round pick, our third-round pick next year for Brandon Peary, who is on a one-year deal. At this point, not doing too bad. He would be further insurance. I'm a little bit worried because it's a third-round pick next year, but even if we do have to rebuild and retool, I would still expect us to be a playoff team next year. So I'm going to do this. I am going to pick up Brandon Peary for a third-round pick, and we are truly stocking up for the playoffs here, and we beat the Pittsburgh Penguins, so things are looking up. That's win number 40 on the season. 81 games down, 1 to go. 51-21, easy for me to say, and 9 on the season. The Monsters with 42 wins thus far. As far as the entire franchise goes, this has probably been our strongest season yet. We have finished first in the division. We have finished first in the conference. And things are looking very, very good for us. Now, of course, we will take a look at the stats in a minute. The big thing to note, though, is throughout this entire episode, we have been playing Ty Edmonds a lot. Like, he has gotten a lot of playing time in an effort to keep Korpisalo's minutes down. We finished the year with 52 wins. Not too bad at all. We will take a look. And Nolan Patrick hit 94 points. Jesus Christ. 113 points on the year. The Flyers with 98, and then Pittsburgh with 96. Nobody else from this division made the playoffs. So we will play the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. The Bruins won the Atlantic. So yeah, we will be getting the Maple Leafs in the first round because, of course, we will. Did we win the President's Trophy? Yes, we did. So that is another President's Trophy. A great season for this team. And I should say this. As far as moving forward after this year, I'm trying to decide if I want it to be we just keep whoever we can keep and then trade somebody away, or if we want to truly blow it up. And truly blow it up, that would mean trading Laine, probably back to Winnipeg, trading Tkachuk back to Calgary, Puljujärvi to Edmonton, maybe Gerby back to Vancouver. We'd keep Nolan Patrick because Edmonton getting the first overall pick in year one was absurd. And he just finished with 94 points on the year, a plus 35. Patrick Laine with 84 points, and Matthew Tkachuk with 71. Look at the plus minus. Look at the point totals from our top line. Puljujärvi with 53 points isn't terrible. Gerby with 51. Ralph Jarrett, 48 points. Good on you for suggesting to change him to an offensive defenseman. A great year for him. He never bounced back to an 84 overall. Didn't need it. 37 assists and 11 goals on the year. Even and in respect to Chuck Jasper. Wow. You know what? I'm not even going to cut this. Allow me. Give me a moment. Hey, you. Come here. Come on. Come here. Come here. Be gone. All right. Well, like I said, I'm leaving that in because that's fucking hilarious. Right. I imagine my dog just saw a cat outside, that or a squirrel. One of the two. Where was I? I'm leaving that in. I don't care. Chuck Jaspers, 48 points as well. Sure, he was an 89, and you should expect it. Lutzer, 43 points. He might end up being our number one center next year, which is kind of scary because he only had 43 points. Seth Jones with 42 points, a bit of a decline. Savard with 29. He was a plus 28, though. Chikrin with 28 points. He was a plus 23. Peary, of course, played down in Cleveland, but he had 27 points in 62 games. A good depth guy for us to have. Passy Hall was a minus player and still an 82 overall. So I think after this year, if we really change it up, he's gone because I don't trust that he's going to turn into anything. And even having him on the third or fourth line, I'm not sure if it's worth it. J.C. Donovan with 22 points in his rookie year. Not ideal, but he did have the same point total as Alvin Dahlman. Velarde only 16 points. Abramov 15 points. So the bottom six was very, very disappointing. Especially having to, I only played Stenlund for 56 games. I imagine I'm hopeful he would have hit 20 games. I still can't believe that happened. That's amazing. Looking at the goaltending, Joonas Korpisalo with 59 games played, a 195 goals against average, a 933 save percentage with 8 shutouts, an unbelievable 36, 16, and 4. Ty Edmonds with 27 appearances, a 241 goals against average, 17, 5, and 2, with a 913 save percentage and 3 shutouts. Overall, a very solid year for this team. Taking a look at goalies, I see 8 shutouts, 9 shutouts. All right, so Korpisalo was right there. And I guarantee he played less than Gibson. Yeah, he played 10 less games than John Gibson and was still just shy of being the winningest goaltender this year. Points for defenseman, Erik Karlsson finished number 1, as you would expect. Ralph Jarrett's up there, though, which is pretty nice. But taking a look just at the league-wide points, Nolan Patrick and Patrick Laine, 1 and 2. Laine, though, I don't know if Kane's season's done. He might still play, but Nolan Patrick absolutely dominates it and finishes with the league lead in points. Tkachuk may take home the goal-scoring award. It depends on Tarasenko and whether or not he has one more game to go. So in conclusion here, a very good season for us, and I actually quickly wanted to take a look at the Cleveland Monsters because they've obviously had a great season. Holy shit, Donald McIntosh, who was a free agent signing, up to an 81, 70 points in 73 games. They still have 3 games to go this season. Ryan Peters was great. Tambellini, not too bad. Michael Spacek, who we picked up on waivers, is looking all right. So we had a pretty decent year. Dougherty finished the season, or hasn't finished the season, but has 24 points in 31 games since we signed him at the beginning of this episode. So needless to say, I'm confident if we need to use him. Anders Nielsen, of course, has played the entire season, just because I don't bother rotating out AHL goaltenders. He has a 919 save percentage and 42 wins. So a very good year. A very good year for both teams. The question is now, how far do we go into the playoffs and what happens after? But before that big question of how do we handle the offseason, we have another trophy to win. And we are in a damn good spot to pull that off. We didn't get 54 wins this year, so a little bit disappointing there apparently. But of course, we already knew it is Toronto in the first round. In the East, Philly and Pittsburgh, us in Toronto, Buffalo, Florida, and Boston and Ottawa. So in the next episode, guys, we take on the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs again. The pressure to win this year is probably greater than in any other year because we don't know what lies ahead for this team in the upcoming offseason. But we're still in a great spot to win, and I think we'll do just that. But you never know with the sim engine. I do look forward, though, to seeing what ends up happening, and I hope you guys do too. As always, if you enjoyed this episode and my dog freaking the fuck out, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support my channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one where we begin another playoff push. Jesus fucking Christ, I can't believe that.